Mark parked his car at the edge of the overgrown driveway, the headlights illuminating the crumbling facade. He adjusted his glasses and glanced at the imposing structure before him. Sarah, her short pink hair contrasting sharply with the darkening sky, clung to Tom's arm, her eyes wide with fear. Mrs. Hargrove, the frail but sharp-eyed neighbor, stood at the gate, her gaze fixed on the house with a mixture of dread and familiarity.
"This is it,"
Mark said, trying to mask his own trepidation with a tone of professionalism.
"Are you sure about this, Mark?"
Tom questioned, his leather jacket flapping in the breeze.
"The girl, she never left,"
Mrs. Hargrove whispered, her voice barely audible over the rustling leaves. Mark led the way, his flashlight beam dancing across the peeling wallpaper and cobweb-covered corners. Sarah squeezed Tom's hand tightly, her heart pounding in her chest.
"I don't like this,"
she murmured, her voice trembling.
"Stay close. It's just an old house."
Tom reassured her, though his own voice was laced with uncertainty. Mark paused at the foot of the staircase, peering upwards where the shadows seemed to deepen.
"Let's check upstairs. That's where the sightings were reported,"
he suggested, trying to maintain his journalistic curiosity. Mark motioned for Sarah and Tom to follow as he pushed open a door. The room was empty, save for a dusty rocking chair that creaked gently as if moved by an unseen hand. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the corner. Lila, the ghostly girl. Her long, tangled black hair framed her pale face, and her tattered white dress fluttered in the cold air. Her eyes, hollow and searching, locked onto the group.
"Oh my god, is that her?"
Sarah gasped, retreating a step.
"It must be,"
Mark breathed, his voice a mixture of awe and fear. The old woman stepped forward, her frail frame casting a long shadow on the wall. Mrs. Hargrove looked at Lila with a mixture of sorrow and tenderness.
"Lila, my dear, we are here to help,"
she said softly, reaching out her hand. Lila remained silent, but the tension in the room seemed to ease as her form flickered, a faint smile touching her lips. Mark, Sarah, and Tom stood with Mrs. Hargrove in the now empty room, the rocking chair still.
"What happens now?"
Wabausda asked, looking at the elderly woman.
"She can finally rest."
Mrs. Hargrove replied, her sharp eyes softening.
"And we have a story that needs telling,"
Mark added, a newfound respect for the spectral world evident in his tone. As they left the house, the first rays of sunlight cut through the morning mist, heralding a new beginning both for them and for Lila's spirit. Now at peace,